Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, January 19th. A cold and active weather pattern continues for the eastern U.S. Looks like it'll continue right through the remainder of the month of January and probably right into the early part of February as well. We have some accumulating snow coming to the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor region tomorrow morning as the next Arctic air mass arrives. It doesn't look like a major event, probably on the order of 1 to 3 inches throughout the I-95 corridor region, but the timing of the snow will be quite poor as it should coincide with at least part of the AM rush hour on Thursday. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and all surrounding suburbs. We'll kind of focus in on the event for tomorrow morning. There is another low pressure area that we're continuing to monitor for Friday night, Saturday time frame. Right now, it looks like the bulk of the accumulating snow will stay just to the south and east of the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. Still a close call and still can change and come up farther to the north and west. Right now, it appears the zone of the most likely heaviest accumulating snow will extend from, let's say, southeastern Virginia across the Delmarva Peninsula, maybe towards the coastal part of southern New Jersey. Maybe some snow in the I-95 corridor region, but again, the focus right now looks like it'll be just to the south and east of there. Still a few days to go before that event, so we'll focus in on tomorrow morning's situation. First of all, just wanted to point out that hopefully you go to arcfieldweather.com periodically throughout the day, because I typically will do the video in the morning and then an afternoon, a midday or an afternoon updated posting on the weather situation. And all you have to do is go to the home page and scroll down. For example, yesterday in the middle of the day or midday, I put out a posting on this situation, 11 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I'll typically do that in a situation where there's severe weather or snow or something like that. So again, just try to visit arcfieldweather.com during the day in situations such as this. Well, let's now go through some computer forecast model maps for the situation tomorrow morning. Again, accumulating snow likely in the mid-Atlantic region, 1 to 3 inches perhaps in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor, and the timing will be likely to coincide with at least part of the morning rush hour on Thursday in those big metropolitan areas. Wanted to use the high-resolution model. This is known as the HRRR. I think the high-resolution model here has a better handle on the situation. What we have is a slow-moving Arctic front. An influx of that Arctic air arrives early tomorrow. Really, it just filters into the I-95 corridor region, so it'll be a slow changeover of the rain to snow, probably changing over, mixing with or changing over to snow, maybe 5, 6, 7 a.m. time period in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and surrounding suburbs, probably looking at a period of maybe 5 or 6 hours for the steadier accumulating snow. And again, thinking right now 1 to 3 inches, maybe an isolated higher amount of 4 inches or so in some spots. But I think this high-resolution model has the best handle of the situation. The other models, like the GFS model, for example, is what we call synoptic scale, more of a kind of a broader look at things. And we have a couple of high-resolution models. The NAM has a high-resolution version known as the 3-kilometer resolution model. It also has a broader 12-kilometer version, and this particular model, known as the HRRR, is seen right here in these maps, by the way, from tropicaltidbits.com. I think, again, this has the best handle on the situation for tomorrow morning. So let's move forward here in an hourly increment. We'll see by early tonight, this is the Wednesday evening forecast map, we have a breakout here along that frontal boundary zone. And again, this is an Arctic front. It's a slow mover at this point in time. It's situated right about in this region right here, and we have rain breaking out along and ahead of that slow moving frontal system and snow behind it, and that will be kind of the situation as it arrives in the mid-Atlantic region with a breakout of rain probably late evening in the DC metro area and closer to midnight, Philadelphia, New York City, not a lot of rain, just some rain shower activity late this evening around midnight, just after midnight. And then by daybreak, around daybreak, we get colder air filtering in, and that rain will mix with and then change over to snow from northwest to southeast, probably again in these metro area regions of DC, Philadelphia, New York City. That changeover will be 5, 6, 7 a.m. So right about in time for the morning rush hour, and again probably continue for a 5 or 6 hour period. So Arctic air at this particular time, and this is about 5 a.m. forecast map, will be filtering in from the northwest to the southeast. By the way, temperatures on Thursday will hold steady or even slowly fall through the day as that Arctic air comes in. And here we go, quite a decent snowfall here for 4, 5, 6 hours in and around the DC, Philadelphia, New York City corridor, probably pulling out off to the east around 11 a.m. or so, noon or so in some areas. Again, 5 or 6 hours of steady accumulating snow to coincide largely with the a.m. rush hour. Then by tomorrow night, and this is the evening forecast map right here on Thursday evening, that Arctic front slowly continues to push to the south and east, kind of sets up shop over the Carolinas. There'll be another low pressure area riding up along that frontal boundary zone. That's the threat for Friday night and Saturday. We'll really focus on that over the next couple of days. Again, right now it looks like the zone with perhaps the heaviest snow from that Friday night, Saturday system will be southeast of Virginia, Delmarva Peninsula, especially the southern half of the Delmarva Peninsula, maybe into southern coastal New Jersey. And in that area, maybe southeast of Virginia, there could be some significant snow accumulations. Still time for that to move to the north and west, but we'll deal with that over the next couple of days. At this particular time, Thursday evening, bitter cold air will be flowing into the DC, Philadelphia, New York City corridor. I expect low temperatures again. We've had this before this winter, by early Friday morning in the 10 to 15 degree range in and around the immediate I-95 corridor region, and certainly we'll have temperatures not able to escape the 20s on Friday ahead of that next storm system that again looks like it may focus on just to the south and east of the I-95 corridor region. Well, let's now kind of focus in on the Mid-Atlantic region, the Northeast U.S., again using that high-resolution model. This is the surface temperature, the 2-meter air temperatures, beginning right now, Wednesday morning, in the 20s throughout much of the area. And we actually get milder today. We actually will experience likely the mildest day of the week with high temperatures this afternoon, well up in the 40s in D.C. and certainly into the 40s in Philadelphia, New York City. Warmer than yesterday, but much different air mass arrives on Thursday, an Arctic air mass. Now let's move into the overnight hours. Here we are closing in on midnight, right around this time frame here. Still near 40 degrees, 39 degrees here in southeastern PA. Still warm enough for some rain around midnight going into the wee hours of the morning. But here we go. Here comes that Arctic air starting to slide to the south and east. And by the time we get to, let's say, 6 a.m., you're on the doorstep right here of freezing temperatures in southeastern Pennsylvania. Again, the likelihood of the mixing with or change over to snow in that 5, 6, 7 a.m. time frame. D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and that Arctic air just continues to slowly filter in from the northwest to the southeast. And here we go all the way out to the middle of the day on Thursday. Temperatures dropping into the 20s. So the temperatures will reach a peak in temperatures for Thursday shortly after midnight tonight, and then slowly drop throughout the day on Thursday as that Arctic air filters into the region. And here we are by tomorrow evening, the 7 p.m. forecast map for tomorrow night, closing in on 20 degrees in the D.C. area, and actually a little bit below 20 already southeastern Pennsylvania, up across interior New Jersey into New York City, on the way down to maybe 10 degrees in some spots by Friday morning. Very cold day on Friday itself. Well, let me wrap up with a total snowfall map from the high-resolution model here, mainly because I really agree with this. I think this is a very good representation of what I expect to see tomorrow morning. Basically, 1 to 3 inches in this region of D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, maybe an isolated 4-inch amount. Again, we're talking about a period of steady snow, maybe 5 or 6 hours, beginning in that 5, 6, 7 a.m. time frame, ending late morning, maybe midday. But again, 1 to 3 inches, maybe an isolated 4. Unfortunately, much of that will coincide with the morning rush hour on Thursday, so certainly be aware of that. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.